our brand new middle school campus right here in Upper Dublin, Pennsylvania. It is absolutely beautiful, dude. Brand new football field, brand new soccer field, couple baseball fields. These kids have it made. Have it made, Colin. What's going on,
nice.
dude?
Must be nice. I was on Archbishop Wood pulling rocks out of my knees at football practice. Top 25 team in the country, but the Viking mission, for those Wood alumni listening, we are coming to change that and plant a flag and build a stadium and a state-of-the-art indoor, you name it. We're building a whole thing for every sports team at Wood. But I digress.
Dude, it's about goddamn time, honestly. I mean, they have the land for it. Enough already going over to William Tennant High School and hosting your home games. Jesus.
Hosting your home games. Exactly, Mick. I completely agree.
I'll tell you what, though. William Tennant has probably one of the best. They used to have one of the best sledding hills of all time.
They still do. I'm sure it's still great. I'll tell you what. But things are good, Mickey. Everything's great in Minnesota, man. It's, a lot of Eagles fans listen to this. But I'll tell you what, man. This is an unbelievable organization. It's very impressive. And
I'm sure, man.
They take care
of it. If they're
of
anything like last year, you guys are going to be serious playoff Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, you got Kirk Cousins. You're in the mix, I think people would. Whoa, listen, this guy. I'm telling you, some of the stuff he does in practice, he's really good. Obviously, JJ. There's a lot of great players here, so I'm blessed, man.
That's awesome, man. One more preseason
game.
All the best. Coming. Be a final week of training camp, right?
That's right, man. Today was the last practice. So we joined practice with Arizona. Talk about crazy in the business of football. Yesterday we practiced against Arizona, practiced against two players. They woke up in the morning here in Minnesota and they both got traded. Right? I'm just calling player X and Y. So they got to go back to Arizona, pack, and then go to this new city they're in. Think about that. Wake up here.
And then the emotions, too. The emotions seem to be running real high right now. Fights are breaking out left and right. I mean, it's preseason, Colin, and fights are breaking out in preseason games. Fights are breaking out in the live scrimmages. What the fuck, dude?
Well, you see the practices. That's why these fights happen. So to paint the picture of why this happens, folks, is because there's no refs. There's no TV. No one's getting fined. So if a guy, it's a thud period, which is if you're squared up with a guy, you can tackle him, but not to the ground. That's called thud. So you can thump him, and then you let him finish. And then everyone works angles of tackling, and they tag him off on the hip. Well, if the guy comes in from the side and tackles your running back, who's your starter, how do you think the O-line is going to react to that, right?
Yeah.
So but then you got to understand, there's one-on-ones before that, where that D lineman's running down your face every play. There's one-on-ones where that safety's holding you. And then you do that 2 days in a row. So they gets built up over time, and then it's an explosion, right? And then everyone's like, screw it. It's like a hockey melee, which I love, but it's really getting out of the game.
Right.
Because
like I said to you before, though, I would much rather see somebody televise the in scrimmage, the
joint practice. But the problem is they won't do it because we run a lot of stuff that we would never run in a preseason game.
There you go.
We test a lot of things that are like, well, we'll see if this works. But you're right, Mick. People will watch. And the problem is not the problem, but I'll tell you what, you're onto something. In a couple of years, that next CBA, you'll have joint practices that will be at like 7:00 at night, primetime NBC, and they'll be making money off that too.
Yeah, no, I mean, it could be kind of like a combination of the UFC and the NFL, some sort of program there. People would fucking eat that up, dude.
They would.
And I'm not a huge UFC guy, but tie a little football into the mix. I could get on board with that.
Yeah, nutty.
But yeah, man, good to see you, man. Good to hear that everything's going well. Thanks everybody for tuning in to another episode of the Samboner Show. We are Samboning the Shore, and it is in absolute high gear as we look to wrap up another month of Samboning. Samboning the Shore has been an unbelievable theme. Everybody continues to get out there, roll up their sleeves, and Sambone it. We got a strong, I want to say 7 days left in the month, but 7 days from now is Thursday, Friday, which leads you right into Labor Day weekend. So we'll be Samboning the Shore here for at least another 10, 11 days before we roll out another month. Big shout out to our good friends over at the original Fudge Kitchen for supporting the Samboner show. An unbelievable time to get your Sambone on with the original Fudge Kitchen. Chocolate, vanilla, peanut butter. You heard Colin. They're shipping it all over the goddamn country. It's a great time to get your Fudge game on. And another quick shout out to our good friends at the Wharf in Wildwood, New Jersey. Big weekend on tap at the Wharf this weekend. I'm going to give you the music rundown, Colin. Some legendary acts kicking off the show down here at the Wharf. We got the Jamison Duo 6 to 10 Thursday, the Giuliano Brothers 4 to 7 Friday.
Are they playing?
Oh yeah, dude, they're killing it. They were at they were over at the O'Donnell's this past weekend. Those guys will never stop, man. They'll die playing the guitar and the drums. They're absolute legends. Misguided Band 8 to 11 on Saturday. Or I'm sorry, Friday. And then on Saturday, you got Cindy Raymond 2 to 6. You got the Secret Service. How long has Secret Service been around? Those guys fucking kill it. They're 7 to 11. And then on last but not least on Sunday, you got Fat Mez from 6 o'clock to 10. And Kev and Callie duo 7-11. Fat Mez is another incredible house band playing all the right classics down the shore. If you haven't seen Fat Mez, get over to the Wharf and Sambone yourself some of that hot honey pizza, some of those cheesesteaks, some of that sushi. Matter of fact, dude, had some guy ping me the other day. Jeff, Mick, had to reach out. You were not kidding. The pizza at the Wharf is dynamite, and it very well could be some of the best in Wildwood. I'm like, there you go. I told you.
You know what? And it's funny, too, because everyone's like, you're crazy. It's like, do you think Mick is lying here? Do you really think, like, that's what bothers me, too, when they get all my grades, because you got a place like the Wharf that's got an unbelievable campus of just fun. And you and Mick, Samboner and Mick, OG says, hey, best pizza in Wildwood. Don't at me. People are probably coming at you, Mick, but you got to go try it at the Wharf. That's the bottom line. I can't wait to try it. I'll be down depending on what goes on here. If I'm here, we play Thursday night in Philly. And then I have a wedding in Philly and down the Jersey Shore that weekend. So if I can get home, I'm going to try to get home.
Well, there you go. I'd love to stand right next to you on the field that night, Colin.
I will. That'd be great. I'll put a Samboner hat. I'll wear a Samboner hat just for you pregame.
But yeah, man, Samboning the Shore has been a lot of fun. We're in high gear. I will say though, on the topic of cheesesteaks, and not to talk about everything food here on the Samboner show, but that's what we're doing. We're Samboning. Dude, I got to talk about this drop that I had. You probably saw it. It was a little clip on Guess the Cheesesteak. I think we got a little problem here in the cheesesteak Samboner hood world. There's come to be a point where these cheesesteaks are looking too much alike across the board. So I dropped this little video, Guess the Cheesesteak. First to guess the cheesesteak, I'll throw you a hat. So there was a winner. That said, there was like 75 comments, and 40 of those comments were practically 40 different cheesesteak places, which tells you what? People are bringing in the right roll, people are using the Cooper Sharp, and people are blending that shit all together and making it look just like the guy next door. So like, where do we stand right now in the cheesesteak world? There's a new place that opened up right up the street from me called Verona, Colin, called Verona Pizza. Like, there was like 3 or 4 people said, that's the Verona. I'm like, no, but I saw a picture of the Verona, and you're right. It looks just like that. Not to take anything away from all these establishments, but at this point, if you're getting into the cheesesteak game, you got to do it pretty much, I don't know, on par with a lot of these up-and-coming places. You follow me there?
I'm following you. No. It's listen, again, I've said it before too. Like you know what? And I'm all over the place per usual, but our boy Ed Angelo said it best. It's not the water. You can make the bread anywhere. It's not an excuse. He said, I can make the bread in Clearwater, Florida.
No, he's wrong.
Okay, I trust the guy. He's got the best bread in the world.
I trust him too, but I think he's wrong.
I don't think the right people are there making it. I don't think the right people are making it. I don't. I don't think it.
No, it's very debatable. I unfortunately do think it all boils down to the water.
You're going to debate him, King.
I'm not going to debate the King. I'm not going to debate the King, although we've tried to get on the golf course. If you're listening, Danny, 3 times now, you had an oven blow up in your face. You might want to tighten those screws up because Samboner Mick's looking to take you down in 18 holes of golf. But no, you're right. He is the King. But Look,
I believe
I
it.
had Brian on from Aqua America. He talked about the water system and all the aquifers and the aquafinity around, what produces the bread, whether you be in New York, whether it be in Philly. Again, I think it would be tough to do it out west. That said, to be determined. We're going to figure it out one day. We're going to figure it out one day. But for 40 different comments to come in on 40 different places, just goes to show you, like, all these cheesesteaks are starting to look the same, dude.
The level has risen, and what do you attest it to? I have my opinion, but why do you think it's risen?
I think I attest it to choosing the right bread, whether it be Sarcones or Aversa, honestly. But it's the Cooper Sharp cheese, dude. At the end of the day.
But my question is, why do you think the level has risen of what it looks like, the quality of meat, the bread?
Because I feel like with the Cooper Sharp cheese helps it bring it all together. So from a distribution standpoint, that Cooper Sharp cheese, it's kind of hard to fuck up a good cheesesteak, honestly, by using it.
Yeah, it's got great strong salt. But my point is, social media has driven everybody else. The Samboners, the people out there, you name them, that are trying food and showcasing these local businesses, has driven other local businesses to say, well, we can do this. Everyone's saying it. You got to put the correct amount of spice seasoning on the beef. You got to have the right blend of cheese, and you got to have the right roll. It's really not that hard. It's hard to execute consistently, but it's not that hard to do on a weekend, a day, whatever. My point is, I think the power of the Samboners, the power of social media, others that do it, foodies, the people in the world today, it's elevated the food scene, in my opinion.
100%. 100%. And, at the same time, it's almost like, is that traditional cheesesteak with American cheese even worth going after when there's a guy right down the street that's doing a cheesesteak that looks just like a Cafe Carmela or a Curly's Creations? Like, no, you're not going to, I'm not.
And that, listen, it goes back to what's the roots of the cheesesteak, right? Like, it's all different for everybody else, but like I always say it on here, the roots of the cheesesteak for me was we were at Wood, we win a big game on Saturday night. I'm, maybe hurting a little bit on Sunday morning. Wake up, Eagles are on at 1. I got to leave at noon to pick all up the food, from the local pizza shop down the street. We weren't going 30, 40 minutes to this great cheesesteak spot.
We were going right to Steak and Hoagie Factory, baby.
I was going to Dominic's. I was going to, what's it, Pina's Pizza. I was going to, what's their last name? Christ. Spatola's.
Shout out Spatola's. That place is good.
Very good. One in New Britain, one in Doylestown, Cold Spring Creamery Road, right down where I grew up. So that's a cheesesteak to me. Yeah, there's better in the world. But if it's good enough for a ball game with the family, yeah, that's a cheesesteak.
I hear you, man. I hear you. But again, it's easy to produce. So why not do it?
No doubt. That's my point. It's like,
but then again, people don't want to change. People want to just, hey, this is what it is. This is what we've been doing for 30, 35 years. We're not getting into the Cooper Sharp game. We're not getting into the seeded rolls. We're just traditional, non-seeded American cheesesteak. Anyway, we're off the rails. I was shocked, man, when I posted that and 40 different answers came in, honestly. But yeah, dude, we are Samboning the Shore. Last night I posted a guy Samboning from Aloha or Kiowa, Hawaii, doing a little pork sandwich. I mean, are you kidding me? That's the shit that gets me going, Samboners. Then I got a couple that just sent in a Sambone from St. Petersburg, Florida, doing a little rum runner action. I mean, come on, Sambone Nation, alive and well. What do we got here? All right, dude, we're gonna gear up for 2 more weekends down the shore, Colin. Yeah, I'm a Shuby. Yeah, didn't give me a break. I got 3 kids.
You're not going to go in the fall at all?
Nah, we'll be down there. I'm trying to talk my kid into surfing over playing baseball, but he's all in football, baseball, and track.
That's great. But my whole thing is like, it's not over because you're going to go down in the fall.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm just saying, like, the true summer months, like the Memorial Day to Labor Day, we got 10 days left in the tank. I hear you.
I don't know. To me, it's so depressing.
No, it is. It is depressing, and I try to beat the system every day I can. But
the short time ends on Christmas. It's time to get the hell out. It's Christmas, the 26th. Poof! If you have that ability, job, whatever, if you're a shore person, it's over, and then you circle right back for March. Polar Bear Plunge, singer-songwriter. Boom. That's my game. But hey, and speaking of Cape May, number one small town Christmas parade in the country every year. It's still the West Cape May Christmas parade. We have our Cape May episode coming up next week. We've had some unbelievable support. Everyone's sick of me talking about it. Colin, can we just get to the Cape May episode? Yes, we can. It'll be a lot of me talking, a lot of Mick and I telling stories. Yeah, I mean, we can't wait. That's coming up next week. We've been, delaying it, pushing it back a little bit. It's hard during training camp to get things done. Be a little bit easier in season. I have a lot of time to record in season and a little bit more, flexibility, pliability. So, training camp.
Colin and I disagree. I firmly believe that right now is some of the best weeks of the year as we wind down the summer and gear up for the Phillies' final stretch run. The Eagles kicking off college football this weekend. Are you kidding me?
You got to understand my perspective. I'm back to work. Like the best time for me, like I said, is the spring. Because you got March Madness, you get the Masters, you have all these, NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, football, the draft, the combine. So I'm also off. I'm not at my high pressure. Now the heat's turned back up and I got to go. So I don't get to enjoy it like everybody else does. While you're tailgating, Mick, I'm sweating in the locker room before the game, trying to make sure I can block Brandon Graham.
No, I just think there's a lot of good action right now. You've been watching you guys watch the Little League World Series at all?
No, I can't, dude. I don't have a passion for it. I'll just be honest. I never have been able to. I'm like, am I a bad guy that I can't watch these kids right now? Now,
really,
when it gets boiled down a little bit, I'll watch it.
Oh, dude, yeah. ESPN, by the way, put on an absolute beautiful show over the weekend.
They do have great coverage of it. Great coverage.
They did, with Washington flying in and the Phillies flying in, the kids waiting as the guys got off the plane, riding over in the it was, man. And then, like I said that to my son, like, could you imagine being up and like the crowd starts roaring, you have no idea why, and you look back and like the Phillies are walking into the stadium, Bryce Harper's in the third row.
It was cool for them too.
The kid rose up to the occasion too.
No doubt. And I guarantee you that was cool for the Phillies too. Like everyone's going to say like, they're pros and they're doing their job. Like those guys, especially baseball, right? Like no one messes around with the kids. Like everybody, 99% of the NFL is going to stop and sign for a kid unless something's going on. Like I feel bad sometimes running in, but I'm like, man, I gotta go to the bathroom, or like, I feel like crap. I got huge blisters. That's what I always thought. I'm like, man, where are these guys going when I was a kid? They should be signing. And then you get to this point and you're like, okay, I understand why those guys aren't signing. I digress. Mick, did you see Bryce Harper's, was it his conversation or his speech or whatever it was? I tweeted about it. What did he say? Well, first off,
wishing he started his career here.
Well, no, I tweeted it the other day. Now I got to look it up. But I said there's a competition in this city. Truly, here it is right here. When Bryce Harper spoke to the team and he was talking about, it's a stepping stone of being great, the Little League World Series and the camaraderie and having fun and enjoying it. He's speaking to the kids. Crossing Broad tweeted it. Of course they did. He was like crying, talking to a Little League baseball team. And I tweeted, at this juncture, it's now a race between Bryce Harper and Jason Kelce to see who's going to be the most loved Philly athlete of all time. And I firmly believe that. Like there's always been Philly athletes in the past that people love, and Utley and Dawkins and Allen Iverson, but no one ever has connected like Bryce Harper has and Jason Kelce has personally.
Oh man, I think there's a couple more guys you can throw in that.
No way. No one's chugging 50 beers with fans. No one's crying to a Little League baseball team telling you this is the best time of your life. Nobody. And now maybe there's cameras more than ever and you can see it. But Bryce Harper's literally talking to the camera. I wish I played my whole career in the city. What? Like that guy couldn't be more Philly. Jason Kelce.
Yeah, but it's the things you say, right? It's the things you say, or it's the actions that you take. Like I'm going to bring up two guys that come to mind that I think you could throw in that category. And I love this debate because I have all the respect in the world for both of those guys. Like I want to talk about Bryce Harper. I want to talk about the week or the 3 games that he just had. And just oh my God, that guy, everything about him is unbelievable. But number 3 in that category would have to go to Brian Dawkins. What he has done for the city and the amount of jerseys he sold, the amount of passion he brings. I think he is part of that conversation, Colin. And number four, and the reason for it is because he got up on stage in front of 2 million people and said, world fucking champions. And that's Chase Utley. And therefore, He is awesome, dude. He's
I think
part
that's cool and all. Don't get me wrong, but you just had Jason Kelsey literally have a fundraiser. I think he raised what, 800,000 or 400,000?
Oh yeah, 850.
850. Drinking all day with first come, first serve at a bar in Sea Isle. The guy walks the streets of Sea Isle. The guy does the parade and walks the whole route. Then he gets up there in a Mummers costume. Philly Mummers. Goes postal.
Right, but dude, Chase Utley was doing the same thing in 08. He was that guy. He's probably one of the last.
I get that, but Bryce Harper literally crying in a booth, talking about his kids, talking about how much he loves Philly, and then talking to Little League. Listen, I get it, and Mick, you're not wrong. I'm just debating for the sake of the pod. I think it's a great debate, but you're never going to go wrong with those four. And I was able to meet and spend some time with Brian Dawkins, the Maxwell Awards. You want to talk about first class? I told him I played in the NFL, and we started going down a different road. Right, we were talking about the game and training and how it's changed and taking care of your body. I mean, we bent each other's ear for 45 minutes.
That's amazing, dude.
I'm a nobody. And we're talking about the way he was lifting later in his career compared to early on, about and he like bending. And my dad and my uncle, jaws are on the floor the whole time. And it's me and Doc. My dad's like, I wish you would have recorded that. You could sell this. I'm like, I know. It's just a special moment for us to enjoy. And that's okay. Not everything has to be a podcast and a video and whatever. And I digress. Doc, tons of respect. Utley.
I think that, like, that's a great another. I think we could come up with 10.
That's the Mount Rushmore, though. Those four.
There's definitely a couple more too. Like, look back at like 93, man. Like John Kruk. Like, look, like the shit that he was pulling off the other night. They were broadcasting the game from the outfield from what's it called, Ashburn Alley. Like, dude, that guy just, everybody wants to be around him, man.
Oh, debauchery for sure. There's the combination of me though for Jason Kelsey of the debauchery, then the dad, then the all-pro player. All three. Like that you never have that. Like literally one of the best centers in NFL history, one of the best human beings, giving like crazy, so available. Like he just walks down the street. He's not just another offensive lineman. He's the most recognizable person in probably Philadelphia sports. So I don't know. I think he's number one all time. Jason.
Jay Will and who else was on ESPN radio? I listened to channel like 80 Sirius Radio. Those guys are good. Keyshawn and Jay Will.
It's gone now.
About, would you take a pay cut for $50 million if it guaranteed you a Super Bowl ring?
No way.
Nah, it's a lot of money, right? I forget who they were talking about.
That's life-changing dough, man. Well, how much money do you have before?
Right.
If you have nothing.
The reason I'm bringing that up is because it's guys like that. Yeah, go have a tulip. Go have a fruit roll up. There's my daughter. It's guys like that would sacrifice dollars and cents to play in Philadelphia. You heard it, Bryce Harper. I wish I started my career here. I mean, dollars and cents.
But he's not sacrificing dollars and cents.
No,
and neither's Jason. Jason's holding that team to the fire. And good for him. He should. Because he was an all-pro last year and he's getting paid. And if he walked, imagine how bad that would look. They didn't pay him the money. They didn't match the dollar he wanted. Think about how much leverage that guy has, Jason. Now, again, I'm just saying those guys aren't playing for free now. They're the highest paid players in their positions. I hear you.
No, Citizens Bank Park is absolutely buzzing. It is, again, one of the best bars in the city. Phils have a 2.5 game lead on the wild card. Bryce Harper's coming off a series where he hit not only 3 home runs, including one, an inside the park home run. I mean, he hit the sweet spot, though. I don't know if you saw it. There's a sweet spot at Citizens Bank Park. Yep. And the right fielder is always sleeping. But if that thing hits and ricochets right, turn on the Jets. I mean, the center fielder did bobble that ball a couple times, but at the end of the day, inside the Parker is something special, man.
I think we're looking at the two most influential Philly sports athletes of all time. And I don't even really personally think it's close because the way they connect with the community, it's unreal. Guys don't do that. You could say stuff into a mic. You can lay people out running across the middle like Dawkins and be the man and pound the table for Philly. But what Bryce does and what Kelsey do in the community while being the top players in their position in their respected sport, few people in any city have what Philly has with those two. So it's good stuff.
So Colin, let's take a step back. I got about 15 minutes here. We're still in high gear, middle of the summer, not middle of summer, end of the summer, August, and college football is kicking off this Saturday. I'm not a diehard Penn State guy. I went to Penn State. I actually had to look up who the preseason rankings were, top 25. I was surprised to see Penn State at 7. But what's it like, looking back at your days at Florida, looking back at your days at Temple, like August 25th, and here you are getting ready to kick off the football season. I don't see many big games on the schedule. I see Navy, Notre Dame. That could be a good game. There's no like top 10 teams face off in the first week. I always thought that was tough because in college football, every game is practically a championship. But is it too early or are we ready to rock?
Well, I mean, listen, the high school schedule moved up too, big time. The high school games are all starting this weekend. You're going to be hearing the drums down the street and the Friday night lights, which was fun. And then, Saturday, here we go. We're rocking and rolling. Navy plays overseas in Ireland, which is super cool.
It's in Ireland. It's a good call.
Yeah, they play Notre Dame in Ireland. So, there's tons of people over there just going to party and have a good time. And I'm sure there's a whole host of folks that are just going to the local pub to watch the game there because, I don't know, that's what I would do personally. I love going to games, don't get me wrong, but I went to a Tottenham Hotspur Premier League football game, soccer game over there. That's what I would want to go see live, but maybe not an American sport over there. I digress. Yeah, it's time, Mick. It's time, man. The fall's here. Again, different perspectives. It's like work mode for me. It's always been. So I'm looking forward to when I'm done playing. I'm not ready to stop playing, but my point is when I'm done playing, enjoying a little postseason baseball. This is the hype right now. This is it, man. Late August. Like, here we go. Phillies are on fire. Best team, right? Second best team since the All-Star break.
That's what I mean. Phillies are on fire. Eagles are
starting. It's a great time of year.
Penn State's in the top 10. I mean, it's a good time to be a Samboner around here, buddy.
Yeah, it's a good time to be from Eastern Pennsylvania. That's for sure. In South Jersey. No, and again, I think this too. Here's the added element. More people are going on the shore.
So, what was I going to say? As we wrap up here, it's also a tough time because we've been doing a lot of boozing here this summer, and you got to come. I've been coming back to Philadelphia to hose off these last couple of weeks.
Nick, what are we doing for September?
We're leaning towards Hoagie month, brother.
Fire me up, baby. Fire me up.
Yeah. We can't leave the Hoagie scene hanging, and then come winter months, we got to get more into that warmer, hotter sandwich. But for now, we're leaning towards Hoagie month. I've got a couple vendors that have already interested in supporting us, Colin, and it's always nice to see. That said, though, like I'm gonna roll out my buy or sell segment, right? Because I've been thinking to myself, like, all right, I gotta hunker down here and get back into some sort of Samboner shape. I'm gonna be Samboning cheesesteaks and hoagies in the fall. But let me ask you a question: Are you in? Are you out? Are you buying or selling on fad diets, like an Atkins diet of some sort?
I could listen, Mick. I have a PhD in this stuff because I've gained 40 pounds in like 3 months and I've lost all that weight. I can do it. And listen, I don't know. To me, you need to have lots of protein, like absorbent amounts that what a normal person would think, and have carbs that your body can understand what they are, which is fruit and veggies. And you'll be in kick-ass shape if you just stick with that like 6 days a week. You really will. So I don't.
Wait, veggies wait, what? How does that work?
Like your body, like they're not processed carbs, right? It's not like pasta or bread that takes processing. But when you like eat carbs, or carbs are in veggies, carbs are in fruit, lots of them.
Carbs are in everything, dude.
I know, but my point is, like, before practice now, I used to have like, I eat pasta before games and all this stuff. But like now I eat fruit because it's the same amount of carbs, but they digest and process in your body quicker because it's a natural thing. Where pasta and all these grain products, cereal, like they got to be turned into something to you to eat. So my point is, I would just pound the carbs like once a week.
You ever hear the Master Cleanse?
Oh God, here we go.
Oh my God, I forget what it fully entails, but it's a complete liquid diet. My next was like the juice cleanse, but I just had this story. This is funny, dude. Oh my God, I can't believe
clean it out, baby.
The Master Cleanse. I think it was Beyonce who came up with it. It consisted of basically just nothing but like lemonade, like sugar-free lemonade, a bunch of cayenne pepper, 2 rolls of toilet paper. No, I'm just kidding. But it basically had nothing in it but like water and cayenne pepper. And I decided to go on this master cleanse at one point. It was like in my mid-20s. I had just lined up a job interview with the company Nextel. Do you remember Nextel? They had the
I know them well. That's my first phone.
Yeah. So I lined up the interview. I'm about 28 hours into the master cleanse, and it was down in Ben Salem, right next to the Applebee's. So I show up to the interview, and I roll into this guy. I forget the guy's name. I'm like, what's going on? At the time, I'm like rolling in. I'm like squeezing my ass shut. I have like, a couple farts here and there. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, oh my God, this is not going to go good at all here. I'm bugging out. Dude, within 15 minutes of the job interview, I had to put my hands up and tell the guy, dude, I'm on the master cleanse. I cannot sit here any longer. I got to run immediately to the Applebee's and take care of some.
Man,
so are you buying or selling on the juice cleanse, Colin?
I'm selling on all this stuff. Just eat whole foods and work out 3, 4, 5 days a week.
Oh shit!
And don't drink as much during the week if you're going to pound
cayenne pepper, man. I'll tell you. All right, my last topic. Are you buying or selling on the cold plunge? This whole new phenomenon of like taking cold baths, ice baths, outside of like healing bruises and bumps and all that. Like,
it doesn't do that though.
What does it do?
That's now debunked. The whole thing of get some ice on it and get in the ice tub for 8 minutes. It's all now debunked because what it's doing is pulling that healthy swelling away. That's pumping nutrients to your body. So that's all debunked. What it's doing though, it's a lot of mental clarity stuff. So if you're I think it's like, if you're in the ice tub like 6 to 10 minutes a week total, you're looking at like a clearer mind and you sleep better and all that stuff too. I don't know the science behind it.
What about, I jump in the ocean a lot. Just this past week, it was like 58. It was freezing. I dipped my ass in there for 10 minutes. Like, it does wonders. I mean, it's got to be the same concept, right?
That's it. Same concept. I think it's mental. It's probably more mental than physical, right? No doubt about it.
Are you buying it or selling it?
I'm buying it 100%. I do it every day. I go under the water for like 30 seconds every morning.
How cold?
Oh, it's in the 40s, probably. 50, right? Our cold tub, 50. The one that, if you watch the quarterback documentary with and what's his name's in there with the winter hat on, Kirk Cousins, and he's pounding the thing. That's the cold tub every morning I'm in. So yeah, I try to hold my breath for like 15, 30 seconds underneath there and just relax mind.
It's interesting how it was just like, I don't know. Like
Joe Rogan has
survived without this concept, and now it's become like I just saw somebody catch a deal on the Shark Tank. This is called plunge.
Yeah, Joe Rogan. I mean, the guy moves the needle, and when he speaks, like that song, Richmond and Richmond, or whatever it's called, it's like #1 song in the world now. Joe tweeted about it and said that this should be one of the top songs, but because it's political and because it's some country singer, it will never take off. I think it's the #1 song in the world. And then 2, he's really big into cold plunge stuff. So it's good. It's, whatever, politics aside with Joe, like all of his stuff is about working out and eating healthier, but also having fun. And if you want to smoke a J or drink a beer, whatever, that's what you're into, then go do it. Like, but just do everything in moderation. He's reason why he's the #1 show in the world. I'm a big fan, but
yeah. Good stuff, man.
He was a big, Mick's the next Joe Rogan. We're looking at him right now, folks, but watch out, Joe. Mick McKenzie's coming for you.
Yeah, I gotta find that moderation piece. That's all right though. We'll
thing is during the week, man. I feel like we'll see. My wife's like, well, you're still playing, so it's easy for you not to go at it during the week.
No, I like to take Monday and Tuesday off, have a couple pops Wednesday, and then get back out to it. Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Get back on the saddle. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Oh, it's July 4th. Is it Tuesday? That's 2 weeks.
We're running the 4-3 zone over here.
You're doing great. Listen, Cape May episode's coming out next week. Thanks to all our sponsors for that and supporters. Really excited for that. Mick and Samboner, thanks for supporting me through this journey here. It's been a month of training camp. So one more day, one more crack at it. We'll release this here on August 24th, man. I'm Jack. Thanks to our sponsors, Fudge Kitchen and the Wharf. It's good stuff, man. I'm excited for the Phils. What do you think about the Phils in closing? What do you project here as they finish the season?
I mean, they got a great opportunity to bust it open this week. They're playing against the Cardinals, who are like 15 games under 500. So if they can sweep the Cardinals and get a comfortable 4 or 5 games up on the wild card heading into the final, 30 games or so, I think they'll take that wild card. Unfortunately, the Braves have jumped out. The Braves are just kind of more of an elite team, I guess, if you will. They're. I saw an interesting stat. We'll wrap this up here, but their top 4 batters on the team played 120 games consecutively. Like, they haven't missed a game. And here we are, like, I don't know. We have like a different
project. And they don't even have Freddie Freeman because his agent tried to push the agenda for him to go to LA. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But if we can take the wild card spot, avoid them in the first round, it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yogi month.
Yogi. Good stuff, Kyle. I'm glad we could catch up. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Have yourself one hell of a weekend. Tear it up. Keep on Samboning. Love you all.
Samboner out.
Samboner out.
Pop that Sambone, and baby, it's on. Dropping 45.